Okay. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Okay, today I will be redesigning a hose handle. Riveting stuff, I know. So as you can see, this one's broken. It was repaired with epoxy, but it still failed, so I'm making a new one. Now the only requirement for this thing is it just has to have the same inner socket, so it'll fit onto the hose handle piece. I don't know. The first thing I like to do is read the requirements, and then I like to write out what I need to measure so I don't forget. But no matter what, when I actually start designing, I'm like, oh, I forgot to measure this. Anyway, so here I am just measuring it, and enjoy this for a bit. Fun fact, the thing I'm measuring with it is not actually called a ruler. In my last video, I called it a ruler. It's called something else, which I forget. But it's super useful, super precise. Well, precise enough, and I really like it. Yeah. So I'm only measured 4 things here, but when I actually started designing it, I was like, oh, I forgot to measure how high it needs to be at the ball socket and a whole bunch of other things. Anyway, so now I'm going back into my app I used in my first video, which is Shape or 3D. It's super easy to use, and it's very basic, so I can do very basic designs in it, but I can elevate them. I guess that's subjective, but I think I can elevate them. Anyway, so what I'm doing here is I'm making the top bird's eye view of the piece. Now, for this specific design, I'm trying a new method, I guess, that I thought of, which is where I sketch out the top view and I sketch out the side view and then I subtract them from each other, which you'll see in a bit. It worked out really well because I wasn't actually sure how I wanted to form this, but I just messed around and apparently it worked. The key thing for this is that because the last one broke, I want to make sure this one wouldn't break, but it's impractical for me just to print a giant blob of plastic and put that on as the hose. So I still added the same supports, I just made them a bit thicker, and that's how I modified the design mainly. So like, I really want to try to just recreate the design, but just with thicker support pieces and side pieces, instead of like creating a new hose handle. And it's easier for me just to recreate than design on my own. That's why it's called redesign, not design. Amanda redesigns, not Amanda designs. Anyway, so this is what I'm starting on here is, I got a bit distracted. Anyway, this is the side view of it. As I said before, I'm just modeling it after the exact old hose. I think it served its purpose well and it looks nice, so why reinvent the wheel? And as I said before, I'm going to move it down and then subtract one piece from the other piece. But before I do that, I have to bring up all the inner special details, like those little hole things here, just so that it doesn't get deleted when I redesign it, because I still need to have it there and just like fit it to the new piece, which you'll see in like 5 seconds. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just fitting this to the new piece because it's hollow on the inside, and it's just easier if I bring it down and then export it back upwards. Fun fact about this, I did this about 3 times because the first 2 times I did the bottom piece instead of the top piece. So I had to like go all the way back and then fix it, and I did it again, and I had to go all the way back and fix it, and I did it a 3rd time, and I finally got it. And what I learned is I can go into 3D view and then view how far I'm pulling my piece down instead of trying to like mentally do the math in my head and calculate how far I need to pull it down. Anyway, here I think is the final piece. Oh no, I'm just cleaning up the inside now, and then I decide I wanted to round off the edges because I think it'll look better. But get this, I can only round off the edges on one side of the piece because as soon as I tried to do it on the other side of the piece, it just wouldn't let me. So what I had to do is I had to cut the piece in half and then mirror it and then combine those pieces together. I guess there was probably an easier way to do this, but this is what my mind went to. So I'm just going to clean off the end of it as you can see here, and this is my final piece. And this is my final piece. Yeah, smooth transition. But before I print it, I need to add base supports. So as you can see, it's a little curvy hose handle. So to make sure it can print properly, since the printer can't magically invert itself, I need to add base supports to it. So at all the points where it's at its lowest, the points of concavity, calculus has taught me something, I add little supports to it that you can take off at the end, but it just makes sure that the printer still has a basis for it to start printing. It's like a hill. You can't just teleport to wherever you want. It goes systematically. That's in levels. Anyway, here is the final product. As you can see, I removed all the base supports. You have a perfectly functioning hose handle. Anyway, I say anyway a lot, but I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, that's good for you. I'm not going to tell you what to do. Have a great day.